This is Eric Wayne with United Realty Group. I've been a licensed real estate broker since 1989 here in Florida, servicing all of Florida. I've sold several air conditioning companies and other businesses like roofing businesses and so forth in the construction industry. We just recently sold an air conditioning company for $400,000, and we have buyers. We have additional buyers that are in our database. So we're reaching out to other AC companies to see if they want to sell. So I'm going to try and give you some ideas as far as valuation is concerned. I'm going to show you the association. I'm going to show you some contracts and what's been going on in the market. And then we can go further from there if you're interested now or anytime in the future. I can sell this, not a problem. I can help you package it, put all the financials together, do all the add backs. Spending about 50 grand a year on promotion for my listings. I'm a listing agent. I work for the sellers. I have buyers, but I primarily work for the sellers, my business owners. I wanted to share with you what's actually going on in the market. I belong to an association called the BBF, the Business Brokers of Florida Association. That is the largest association in the country of business brokers, not the guys that do residential. I've done residential over the years, but my niche is small business. And these 20,000 agents that belong to the association, in 20 years, they've sold over 22,000 businesses that I'm going to show you in just a moment from the association. But to show you what's going on in the community, these were the monthly totals that were sold, businesses, deals, 1,314, 1314, in 7 months compared to 7 months here. Last year, these 7 months, we sold as an association 745. It took an average of 274 with an 86% down payment for averages. This year, we're down to only 449 transactions, which is 60% of 19's numbers. So what does that tell you? A lot of businesses were unsellable. A lot of businesses couldn't hold out until they were sold, or there were not enough buyers given what's going on here with ratios. You can see only 80% of 19's volume, 65%, 28%. This is right after the corona bad news. And it came up a little bit, and here we are at 46. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens the rest of the year. Buyers do want to know that the business they're buying can support their family and other families that work in the business. So we go for the essential businesses like AC and construction, and those seem to work. But here's the summary of 7 months versus 7 months. It's taking 10% longer this year, an average of 300 days on the market to get a business sold. It's not a fast transaction by any means. 85% down payment, 15% seller financing. So we're down about 40% on deals, but that's okay. I have 10,000 people in my database from other years that are still looking for businesses. This was a closed deal that we did. I wanted to share this with you, a contracted deal. My brokerage, United Realty Group, Business Brokers of Florida Association, all these contracts and forms and everything are part of our fee. You don't pay us for attorney's fees other than the transaction attorney, which the buyer and seller generally split once it's contracted and everyone agrees to sell and buy. But the documents are all included because I belong to an association where they have attorneys that draft these. These sales contracts are 17 pages. They cover everything, the closing, the method of payment, the seller's representations. It's very, very thorough, and you don't have to pay anyone to draft it. It's all part of it. This AC business, as I mentioned, was $400. This was a roofing business over there. Again, 17-page document, and it was all filled out, signed, executed. Here's just a quick copy of the brochure. You see smiling faces at the closings. There's phone number, Facebook, website, emails. We're including free TVs as closing gifts. There's the broker and some things that we're doing as far as the database, the valuation, and so forth. Over here, these are some of the categories that we work. Construction, of course, is where AC would belong. This is some of the websites that we do our marketing on. Back in 17, we had 16 offices. Today, we have 20 offices. We had 2,300 agents. Now we have 4,000. I also suspect that this 1.5 billion volume has also increased as well. Let's go right to the association, and I'll show you what businesses have been selling for and how they're figured. If you've never sold a business, you might find this very interesting. So again, the BBF Association has a database of 20 years. We keep track of all of our solds, as an association. In this database was 22,000 historical solds. I could do a search by county, 67 counties, I can do it by subcategories or categories. I already pre-selected construction, but there's a few hundred, legal businesses that the government recognizes, and then subcategories within that. So I could be very specific with, I only want to see AC businesses, in a specific county or in a specific time frame, or, maximum minimum sales price. But what I did is I put in, show me nobody that made anything less than 100 grand and compare me to that. So there was over 100 solds. That's way too many. So then I refined it a little bit more. Gross sales, gross revenue between 300 and 400, right? So I don't want to compare you to these guys, and I don't want to compare you to these guys because it's just too broad of a range. Same thing here. So I put $100,000 gross range on it, and I'll show you the results. Then we have, how are we going to prove the data? Is it all on the tax returns? Is it P&L, owner approved, annualized, estimate, pro forma, part of a year, a cookie jar under the mattress, a hole in the ground where the cash is hiding? It just shows, how do we document it? And then we're going to give you with the comments so you can see that these are older, more mature businesses like yours that have accounts and revenue and so forth. When I did this search before going on video, I was able to show myself 328 to 400. Okay, you fall within there. I'm going to assume that you fall in here between 100 in owner benefits, right? Whatever the owner receives. Now, when it says net and adjusted net, this is not the number that's on your tax return. Tax return is the net diminished for paying minimal taxes, I would assume, unless you're paying 100% on your tax return, which would make you very unique. But adjusted net means any cash we add back in that maybe didn't hit the bank, any owner benefits, car payments, cell phones, college tuitions, trips to Hawaii, new shoes, anything of a personal nature that were not business expenses. So basically we're adding the real value of the business. So yes, we had sales, and yes, we had the adjusted net. Your tax return might have a different number, but we don't go by the tax return. And I'll show you how we do all those add backs and how we try and maximize this number in order to get you the highest sold price, all right? So these businesses were, adjusted net of 100 to, say, 160. I'm going to assume you're in that same range. I could always do new searches. I could always put new criteria, but I just wanted to get us started as an introduction to show you we kind of know what we're talking about. Here you have adjusted net 68% of the annual, 86, almost 2 years. Now we can look at that and find out why this guy got almost 2 years. But the average is not that high. The average is 1 year. He's an anomaly at 1.96. We can certainly try for that. I'm not sure what else was included with that. Maybe there was, a lot of appliances or equipment or, trucks. I'm not sure. Sometimes there's real estate. We got to look a little deeper because real estate will bump up the average. So the average is 1 year. I know I can get you more than that because I've done it on different price points and different earnings. These solds are showing me 1 times net. So if you're making 200, figure 200 sales price. That's what that means. These are on an average 60 cents on a dollar. So on a $100,000 sale, figure a 60% down payment. Some of them got half. Some of them got 75%. This guy got all cash, but it took him almost a year to wait for that particular buyer. All right. The average is 309 to achieve 1 year earnings. Now, again, I've sold quite a few air conditioning businesses for a little bit more than that. I can try for any number that you may like. And, if you're motivated, we can adjust. If you're not motivated, we'll stay on the market a little longer. Price is more important than timing. You'll let me know. Listing is free. Spending $50,000 a year on promoting my listings. I work for sellers. I bring buyers to my sellers. I'm what's called a listing agent. And my team and I are ready to go further. Let us know your level of interest. Again, it's Eric Wayne, United Realty, your favorite business broker, I hope. 954-562-2019. And the website is ericsellmybusiness.com. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to talking to you soon.